How's this, people? I just had to show this one, those of you who know what this is. Dolmades. In the Iranian shop, they actually sell you just the vine leaves, and someone once tried to tell me, oh, they aren't necessarily grapevine leaves. Yes, they are actually, according to the Iranian shop. And of course, I've stuffed them with rice, as they do with dolmades, and there's a few little spices. 2 kilos, it's 4.4 pounds, I think it is, yeah. 120 pieces per can. $7. You know, I buy those little fart cans that are probably about as big as this roll of tape. Well, maybe a touch wider. That are $3.50 each, and I've got this bloody 4.4 pound monster for $7. Oh, I love these, but this will take a few days to get through, and I may go back and get some more. I also got these ones, those of you who know of Soylent, not Soylent Green, but it's actually spelt the same way, Soylent. It's primarily made out of oats, and it's a drinkable thing. Well, I've got this stuff called Up and Go, which is like a little drinkable thing when you miss breakfast to, you know, be a bit of a breakfast replacement. But this one was a failure because most of them, I think, are wheat-based, and this particular one that I've got, which I haven't got any in the house with me right now, they're all in the car, is actually based on oats. And then I realised that Soylent is actually based on oats and drinkable, so it wouldn't be terribly different from Soylent. But yes, chocolate flavoured, tastes fantastic, and you get like, what is it, 8 for $4 or something like that? No, 12 for either $4 or $2. I think it was $4. But yeah, they're damn cheap, so I might go back and get some more of those as well, because they're a great little drink to make up for people like me who tend to skip meals or have these meals that, you know, like 5 bits of bread doesn't constitute a meal, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's why I need a good flaming woman to cook me some real food. This is a little gate here that just closes off my veranda so the sheep can't get in and eat the stevia and knock everything over and do whatever. Of course, I've got the hinges here. There's a funny thing. It seems that earwigs are attracted to the smell of other dead earwigs, whether they go to eat it or what, I don't know. I know a similar thing with ants occurs, but usually the ants are going to help out the other ants that they can tell are in danger by the smell they release when they're stood on. But it just keeps mashing up more and more and more with earwigs. Yeah. Not the bottom one, that's perfectly clean. This one, I'll leave it open for 5-10 minutes. A few more come in, and then I close the gate, crush them. Later on in the day, I'll be bringing in more blooming firewood or whatever. Leave it open again. More come in, close it, crush them, and it's just like becoming a big earwig kill point, as the whole lot of them get flattened between the 4x2 that it's hinged off and the actual hinge itself. And, that was painted grey, like this one here. Yeah, just an interesting little ridiculous thing I note. I've seen the same with running on the spot on an ant's nest, where, you kill a few ants and then the others are attracted by the smell, and if you can just stand there and keep running for several minutes, before you know it, 5 minutes later, you got a big pile of dead ants under your feet. That's something I worked out years ago as a kid. It seems earwigs follow the same ridiculous path. Alrighty, people. Well, not a great deal's been happening. Winter is obviously setting in. The kittens are starting to work out how to use the little doors, little rubber flaps I made her. It's sort of funny though, they'll push them in, you know, just with their head as they go in one direction. In the other direction, they don't like to push them back in the other direction. They grab them with their paw, lift them up, and then stick their nose in the gap and then push through. So, but anyway, they're using both the one on my bedroom door and the front door. Yeah, starting to catch mice, which is good. They got this thing where they get on the wood heap in the veranda, and they then stand on the big container where the food is, the drum, and then get on the windowsill in the veranda, up against the big window that's in front of the kitchen table. And then they're sitting there sort of pressing up against the kitchen, this window, can't work out why they can't get on the kitchen table, and they go walking back and forward on the windowsill, trying to push against the window. And it's like, why can't I get in there, sort of thing. Tabby Cat's sort of a bit scared of the crackling and that of the wood heater when she looks at the fire burning away in the wood heater, and Black Kitty was sort of a bit more intrigued by it, and she's looking at it and that, and I said to her, don't touch it with your nose, it's blooming hot, that glass. Anyway, she's got this thing where she sits on her haunches, you know, a bit like a dog's doing all that, but instead of sort of just having front feet on the, like a front paws on the ground, she'll sort of lift them up like a kangaroo, like sort of, you know, sort of style, and she does that probably 5 times a day at least. Anyway, I think, she's probably not tall enough to touch it with the nose. Next thing, she sits on her haunches and touches it with the left paw and burns the paw, and it was all, and then run off and then go lick the paw, sort of thing. Well, little bugger, but anyway, you got to learn things the hard way, I suppose. And she did that time. But, yeah, I'm going to use that container there and the charge controller and the sealed lead acid battery. It's a Full River, American-made one, 26 amp hour sealed lead acid. It's a flippin' beauty. Like, according to the figures I'm getting and all that, it holds a charge shockingly well. And, you know, it hasn't had a great ton of use, sort of thing, but it's a good quality one, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I would like to have that's probably a bit unnecessary, but there's times where you want to be able to charge devices and whatnot. And, you know, it's good to have one of those backup batteries. That little thing Troy gave me, I've been using that, but, like, you're lucky if you can charge for half an hour at, you know, only half an amp, as opposed to 1 amp, which most of your USB plugs are. So I'm probably going to turn that battery with that box there into like a portable battery pack. Yeah, sure, it's heavy. It sounds ridiculous. But I got all the gear there and all that, and I just bought plugs. Got 5 plugs here, but I butcher one off for, well, probably 2 actually, so I can plug the solar panel and unplug it. And then I want to whack another one of these on the, you might have seen it, I got a 800 cold cranking amps tractor battery. It's flipping big. If it was a deep cycle, it'd be around about 140, 50 amp hours size-wise, sort of thing. But it's not. It's a tractor battery, but I mean, you got a massive amount of amps draw in it. And I want to be able to use the solar panel from the cardboard house on that battery sometimes, along with the existing one that's plugged into it, which is that semi-flexible 20-watt one. And other times unplug it and whack it into charge up the sealed lead acid battery. And so I'm probably going to use these sort of connectors. Seeing I've just bought these. I bought another plug, but sort of, yeah, there's not enough to, there's only one plug in the pack. And so I thought I'd buy this and butcher the plugs off it. Anyway, why I want to whack, be able to whack on the cardboard house panel as well as the semi-flexible panel to the tractor battery system in the shower in the bathroom is I'm getting a pump. It's a 10 amp 12 volt pump. It is rated to, now warm water, I mean seriously warm, is about 57 degrees. That's like full on toasty warm. And I think I've ran the, what's his name, to about wood hot water system to 65 degrees without a problem. And these pumps are rated at 71 degrees Celsius. This is all Celsius what I'm talking here. And basically, it is what I'm going to be using in the wood hot water system. And $250 it's going to cost me. Spits out 8 litres a minute, which is just a smidgen over 2 gallons a minute. It runs off a 3/8 inch or 10 mil line. And I asked him about, will I sort of need to do more or less a siphon effect where you sort of got to mount the pump below the point of where the intake is. And he said, no, you don't need to do that. I went in there and I didn't mention anything about submersible pumps. I thought this is where he got himself into technical bullshit last time. Because, the engine of the pump won't be able to call it, so blah, 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 blah. So I just said a pump, and of course the 12 volt pump, he comes out with like, this catalogue with like RV pumps in there. They didn't have the temperatures listed, he had to ring the manufacturer, but he come back and said, yeah, sure, she's rated to 71 degrees Celsius. And I won't have to sort of do the siphon effect where you have like your tank and you've got your pipe that goes down and then up out of the tank, then back down, and you mount your pump slightly lower than where your intake is. He said you can just whack the thing basically level with the top of the tank, not a problem. And so that's good. He said it's self-priming, so that'll be good. Yeah. He also said with hot water, whatever the rating is, it won't do that with hot water because there's a bit more bounce in the hot water because of the steam that's being created because it's so hot. And because of that extra bounce in the water, those of you who know about sort of leak testing boilers and whatnot will know they usually use cold water. When, this is where they weld them together sort of thing when they do the initial test. At air radios, we used to use air pressure. But that would allow you to see the bubbles sort of thing underneath the water. But yeah, apparently if you have water that's very hot, because it's creating steam, it creates a bit of a bounce in it, and then it's harder to pump and you'll get less, than what the rating is. But, I mean, yeah, I think that's more a case when you're probably pumping a lot. But, I mean, so what, if I get another blooming, a cupful less per minute, so what, the current one's only a gallon a minute and I'll be going to 2 gallons a minute, so what if you lose a little bit? But, yeah, it was an interesting little thing to note, but this one's all external, so he wasn't worried about anything being too hot. In fact, it's actually got an air intake and a fan at the back of the pump motor, which, like many electric motors do, you get your little fan in the back and an air intake for the fan to cool the engine to make sure it isn't heated up too much by the hot water coming through. But anyway, I'm glad that's been sent in. I've got to go and pick it up in a few days' time. But that'll be good because then we'll have a pump, and it doesn't matter if I want to use blimmin' solar heated water or some other fandangle idea I come up with, or even a homemade propane system, which with this 3-ring burner I've got, wouldn't exactly be too impossible to make a, well, as I said to my father once before, we'd probably just get the 3-ring burner and stick it inside the firebox of the wood one, and bingo, you make it a propane hot water system. And it's very well insulated. When I was firing it up last year, I used to be able to, I come out and it was 22 hours after I first lit it, and the water was still, sort of warm, lukewarm. 22 hours after I ran the thing. So she's pretty well flaming insulated in there. But yeah, that's what I'm doing in regards to all the thing. It's not one of these ones with a pressure pump on it, this a pressure switch. So I said, oh, you need a switch for that, but I mean, let's get something like that, and we'll be right anyway. So actually that exact switch, I'll just get another second one of them, but and then I'll be right. But yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's what we're up to.